Hi Professor, so this video is for the source 2, how source 2 is linked to colonialism. So the source 2 was source 2 was colonialism and criminal justice. So first I'll talk about colonialism, definition of colonialism as they explained in this source. It was like a European expansion and driven by how the Europeans wanted their territory to expand in the world by looting the land, wealth, and power. And also in this source, Europeans forced indigenous people to give their land and falsely stating that the land was empty and free for taking it. And also they talked about that uh, colonization in Canada initially involved treaties between indigenous nations and colonial power like Britain and France. And also they talked about how the neighborhood introduced the idea that ethnic and racial differences were biologically determined. And also in this source they talk about scientific racism falsely justified by European superiority fueling the colonization of Americas. Also they talked about in this source they talked about like how the global racial hierarchy as the color line which shaped operation in Asia, Africa, and America. Also, the British Empire imposed a European legal-like system in on colonies, viewing them as tools for maintaining order and control. And also, English criminal law imported from like the Britain mm, became the Canada's first criminal code, and that's when the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, was created to enforce the colonial law and modeled on like British policing. And to this day, the RCMP still works, and they have their they like don't come under these policies. They have their own laws kind of. And also in this source they talk about like colonial rule in Canada was based on resource extraction and trade, limiting indigenous people over land, and Indian Act controlled indigenous population, stopping them of so to produce child. And also in this they have like they talk about three theories as state crime committed by government, and also they explained residential schools were made, and uh, indigenous children who like you know were kept in these schools, they were like facing the physical abuse and mental abuse. And also the land theft was like pretty common, and the cultural traditions of indigenous people was stopped by these ruling uh, officials. So this is what like source 2 talked about. Thank you, Professor.